when you need emergency help, particularly healthcare, some of the people in the Northern Cape call EMS or an ambulance. And we all know the number by now, which is 0800 00 1218. Today we are joined by Mr. Ntintelo, who is the director, provincial director in the Northern Cape for EMS. Good evening and welcome to Healthy Living. I'm Malika, the man with the Midas touch. Mr. Ntintelo, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Malika, and thank you for having me. As it's been said, my name is Mr. Mkhululi Ntintelo. I'm responsible for emergency medical services in the province, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for availing yourself to come and chat to us.
Thank you.
Just a brief overview, the state of EMS within the Northern Cape.
Well, thanks for the opportunity. I think it's quite important that everyone else in the province has an idea of how the EMS is looking at this stage and time. Firstly, I think I need to give an understanding of what EMS is all about. Emergency Medical Services, it is a program that is given a responsibility to provide emergency services, especially between the hospitals and the homes of those who are in need. We simply call that the pre-hospital management of our patients. We actually are responsible to stabilize patients and give hope to their lives, or even treat the patients on scene before we can take them to the hospital. So at this stage, we have about 700 employees in our organization that are responsible to provide the services. At any given time, we have ambulances to a tune of about 90 ambulances on a daily basis that are running to provide the services to the needing people of the Northern Cape. So basically, this is a service that is commonly known as ambulance services by the people in our communities. It is a very critical service, and we want to give an understanding that it is a service that should not actually be taken very lightly, because it has a responsibility to make sure that our people, they arrive to our hospitals safe and stabilized, and also looking forward to their health. Thank you.
As you can see, Mr. Ntintelo is ready to stabilize this interview right now. He's got his gear jacket on. I thought I had a lot of pockets, but that jacket has a lot of pockets. Now, it hasn't been all smooth sailing, I must, within the financial year, the last financial year. What are some of the challenges that EMS has experienced, especially in the Northern Cape? We have different terrains as you travel through the Northern Cape. 5 districts. Each district has its own challenges and terrains. I suppose in terms of the health of our roads in the Northern Cape, the remote areas in the Northern Cape. Can you maybe highlight some of the challenges that EMS might have been experiencing in the last financial year?
Well, thank you for that opportunity. You rightly said there's issues that are related to the terrain, which everybody knows. This is one of the vast provinces that we have in our country, with a lot of scattered, communities, and our roads are not, in looking conditions. Obviously, they have an impact on the lifespan of our vehicles. So we have challenges with the distances, with the condition of the roads. But not only that, other challenges that we have is we have challenges of shortage of personnel. In other words, staffing in our own employ as a program. And but not only in terms of numbers, but we're also looking at the skills that we have within the EMS. You remember that emergency medical services has got different levels of skills. You find the entry skill of a basic life support. You also have intermediate life support and advanced life support. So I can safely say at this moment we have almost less than 1% of advanced life support personnel in our employ, which makes it a very, very difficult and most challenging, to transport, critical ill patients from one facility to the other. So this is not just a problem or a challenge that, affects EMS, but it's a systemic problem. Hence, the engagement with other stakeholders and other departments becomes something very important to do. We have engagements that have been done already, and some are still planned with other stakeholders like your mining houses into ensuring that we do get some help in terms of funding where we are falling short as a department, because you never have enough funding. Our communities and our population is constantly growing, and there's a need, to make sure that we have the right people in our employ in order for us to be able to curb those challenges that we have.
You've mentioned the three levels of life support. Can you maybe expand a little bit in terms of understanding what advanced, does and intermediate does?
Right. Well, when we talk about advanced life support, we're talking about people who can treat, and manage seriously ill people, or maybe people that are presenting with cardiac problems, who may need an ambulance at any given time. But those guys that are dealing with the intermediate life support, it could be maybe between, a minor injuries or to primary health care kind of a problem that could have been, dealt with even at a clinic level. But when you talk of a basic life support, those are entry levels. But the nice thing is we're currently busy now with the extension or expansion of the scope of each and all of those levels, so that we can be able to treat a much bigger, number of our people that are presenting with illnesses to our employees.
Now, as the first phase of, let me say, healthcare within our people, you are the ones that are going to fetch that person, or to assist and stabilize that person that might be experiencing trauma or very, very ill. What are the plans to address these challenges?
Well, look, firstly, we look at the equipment that we have. We look at the skills that we have. And on a yearly basis, we ensure that our ambulances are fully equipped, or are equipped to the level at which they are gazetted for. If an ambulance is operated at an ILS level, which is an intermediate life support level, that ambulance will make sure that it is equipped accordingly. Just as much as those ambulances that are supposed to be operated by an advanced life support qualified person, we make sure that we have the right equipment in order for us to respond to the need or to the demand of services that we get out there. So there's a lot of more things that we put in place. Like, for instance, we ensure that our employees, they get the necessary training. We have a college in our province that is continuously training them to make sure that they are on par and they are not left behind in terms of the developments that are happening out there. The disease profile of the province, I think everybody knows that we have a serious challenge of non-communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. But we make sure that our employees, they are trained and they are updated of the situation that we have at hand.
Now, talking about, especially when you mentioned the equipment that goes within the EMS vehicles, and we spoke earlier on about the terrains that we have, especially within the Namakwa district. Shouldn't we be procuring ambulances based on the terrain, the roads, gravel roads that these EMS vehicles should be driving on?
Yeah. No, you're right. You'll notice that if you're looking at our fleet, we have a variety of vehicles. So we don't just have one type of a vehicle, because it can't just be one vehicle fits every terrain. We have 4x4 vehicles that we deploy in different areas, especially areas of like your Namakwa region, and Pixley region, and JTG. These vehicles, they don't come cheap. I must say that they're quite expensive vehicles, and we need to be looking after them, very well. So yes, when we procure vehicles, we do a feasibility study of each and every terrain where we're going to be deploying them. We don't just place vehicles knowing very well that they will not be able to endure the challenges that they may face in terms of the road infrastructure.
As we know that, sometimes the sea has high tides, and then it would have low tides. We'll chat about the achievements of EMS when we come back. Yeah, we're talking to Mr. Ntintelo, who is the Provincial Director for Emergency Medical Services in the Northern Cape. And we'll continue the conversation with Mr. Ntintelo just after this.
In the Northern Cape, when seconds matter, our EMS teams are there. Reliable, responsive, every call, every life. Saving the day. To the heroes who never stop answering the call, we thank you for your service and dedication.
Well, welcome back. And thank you for joining us on this fantastic, informative program, Healthy Living. Be part of the conversation and, like the conversation on Facebook or wherever you could be watching it. It could be YouTube, it could be Facebook. Drop your comment there, drop your concerns, your questions as well. We will surely be answering those questions and comments and looking at them so that we can improve from our side. We are speaking to Mr. Ntintelo, who is the Provincial Director for EMS, Emergency Medical Services within the Northern Cape. And we are talking all things ambulance and assistance and emergencies and trying to do better and more today for you. Now, earlier on, we talked about the explanation of what EMS is all about, the three different levels of, should we say, EMS personnel, or for lack of a better word, paramedics. Mr. Ntintelo was also highlighting in terms of those three stages, who does what: intermediate, basic life support, intermediate life support, and advanced life support. And we also highlighted some of the challenges that the EMS has within the province. And before we went for a break, we're talking about the achievements of EMS. Now, what are the achievements of EMS in the last financial year?
Well, we have at least trained about 30 between our employees and the school learners that we actually recruited from our communities within the Northern Cape. And the reason for that is because we have realized that our attrition rate in terms of the EMS personnel is actually escalating. So we decided that let us look from within the province. Let us empower our own, learners, so in order for them to choose this career, which is a very, very important and critical skill for one to have. So we have managed at least to train for the financial year over 30 of them. We started already in 2021 with this program. So it's been going on now for at least this is our third year. Our college is functioning or operating in affiliation with UJ, which is University of Johannesburg. So we are proud to have reached this milestone. At least it has brought a change in terms of our skill. We can be sure to that our people or employees they have the right skill, and we can cover a bigger scope of illnesses or even trauma when we get to be called for those challenges.
Now, in a province of about 1.4 million people, we have about 700 personnel within the province. So it's roughly about one personnel to about two, just cutting it in half.
Yeah.
How long is the training for personnel, and how fast can we train EMS personnel?
Well, the current training that we have, since the actually doing away with the short courses, we have a 12 months program that we're currently running in our college. We're also working with the other universities as well, not only in this college. We have some of our employees that have been placed in University of Johannesburg itself, where they are doing a 2-year program. So those, some of them are finishing this year, and we've got a group that already started last year. So the training is taking between 1 year and 3 years, right? But those who want to do a 4-year degree, which is a BTech, they're more than welcome to apply. We have a lot of universities that we can engage with and place them and as and when they show interest to those study fields. But yes, to answer your question, currently in our college, we have a 12-month program that we busy with.
So after the completion of the 12 months program, do we then place them in all over the Northern Cape in terms of EMS working, or do we employ them?
Well, the plan is to employ them. However, it does not always happen that we have the funds to employ them in our organization. We had a discussion last week, fortunately, as an executive, where we took a decision that we need to be looking deeper into this, so that we don't just train these school learners. Once they qualify, we need to have a plan already to put them into our employ. So I want to believe that as from next year, we would be in a position to absorb them as soon as they have finished their training.
All right. So some other challenges, maybe if you can highlight a few challenges in terms of procurement of EMS vehicles in the next financial year, maybe?
Well, as I said earlier on, we always have a plan in place to procure ambulances every year. And I'm sure if you follow the department's page, you would understand that there's been a launch of ambulances almost every year. That's because we have a replacement program that we have within the department, where we make sure that we set aside some funds to procure these vehicles on a yearly basis. The reason for that is because our ambulances, they accumulate a lot of kilometers in a very short space of time, and we don't really want to have old ambulances on the road. So we replace them on a yearly basis. Yes, we do accept the fact that we don't always have enough funding, to procure the numbers that we want, but we try to make sure that every year we replacing these ambulances. For instance, this year, we have already put in a procurement order for 30 ambulances that we should see in our roads. I can safely say maybe around January next year, we should have them. Thank you.
What is the plan in terms of breakage? How do we then repair those ambulances that might have, broken down? And what is the time span in repairing these ambulances?
Well, we have a fleet management contract that is managed by National Treasury. It's a contract that is national. So what they do, they identify, some merchants in each and every province. So if our ambulances do break and they do need maintenance or minor services, we take them to those merchants for whatever kind of service that they need. The downtimes, it can be something between a week or 2 weeks for minor problems. But if it's major problems, it can take almost 3 to 4 weeks. There is a challenge that they have actually indicated to us that they are experiencing a lot of problems in acquiring the parts as a province. Remember, Northern Cape is one of those provinces that kind of rural, and mostly of our vehicles are in the periphery. It's only the Kimberley that is kind of can be classified as urban. So most of our merchants, they depend on Kimberley suppliers. If not, then they would actually acquire those parts outside the province: Bloemfontein, Gauteng, Cape Town, you name them.
Now, there's another program that I think is brilliant, and public sector in the Northern Cape, in terms of public health, we are the only ones that are rendering this program, planned patient transport. Talk to us about that.
Well, planned patient transport is a sub-program within the emergency medical services. You will understand that this program has got 3 sub-programs, which is your EMS operations, planned patient transport services, and disaster management. So planned patient transport services actually, it provides, access to more specialized services like your specialist clinics, your eye clinics, your oncology, your renal, your, orthopedic, you name them. So it is planned in the sense that our patients, they get booked for those particular sessions that they need to attend to. to RMSH, which is your tertiary hospital, only tertiary hospital in the province. And some of them, they attend these appointments outside the province, because we're not only restricted to the province. Some of the patients are taken from the province to Bloemfontein, for instance, and even to Cape Town. So it's quite a massive kind of a service that we provide. And on a monthly basis, we're talking about transporting of around 6,000 patients.
Briefly, the plans for EMS for the next financial year, and I'm quite interested in the criteria for training EMS personnel. But let's begin with the, just a brief overview of the plans of EMS in this for next financial year.
Well, the first thing that we want to do, we want to make sure that we recruit as much as possible. We fill the vacant posts that we have, because we have NHI that is coming very soon, and we are one of the provinces that need to make sure that it becomes a reality. So we want to make sure by the time that happens, we are at least, almost 50% to 60% ready to provide that kind of a service. We're also not looking at that. We want to make sure that our people are trained accordingly. We have the right equipment. We've gone to, to the schools, to market emergency medical services. If I may, I can just tell you that we've been around to the province in the past 3 weeks, where we have engaged almost a lot of schools that are teaching mathematics and science, because those are the subjects that our children or learners need to have in order for them to, to be eligible to enroll into this training. So there's quite a few things that we are trying to make sure that they do happen in the upcoming financial year, and to make sure that we are ready to provide our service.
And if my son out there wants to be trained and be enrolled in the 12 months program or any other program that you have, just quickly, criteria.
Well, like I said, the subject choice becomes one of the important things, and they need to make sure that they choose mathematics already at grade 10. That's where they need to make that choice. They need to have English. They need to have physical science and life orientation. Those becomes the more important subject. Obviously, the scores that they get there, which I cannot tell now out of my head, but those are the subjects that they need to have for them if they want to choose this career. So it's very important that they do that.
Mr. Ntintelo, thank you so much for making time out of your busy schedule to come and chat to us. It can be easy running a provincial EMS, but hey, you're doing it diligently, and I know you have passion for our people, and we're looking forward to great service for our people in the province as far as EMS is concerned. Thank you so much.
Thanks to me, and I really appreciate the fact that we had an opportunity, and I'm hoping that the people out there will, as from today, have a better understanding of the program, and that our children can make the right choices of choosing the right subjects and join us in this field. It's a critical program. It's very important to have this kind of a skill. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to Mr. Ntintelo, who is the Provincial Director in the Northern Cape for Emergency Medical Services. And it's been lovely chatting to him, and thank you so much to you for watching, and we hope that you've been dropping those questions and comments and liking and following the Facebook page and following the Instagram for the Department of Health in the Northern Cape, and following the is it X now? Yes, no more Twitter, it's X now. So thank you so much for making sure that you follow the conversations. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, I'm Malik Gao, and this has been Healthy Living on Ncdohtv, brought to you by the Northern Cape Department of Health. Good night.
Thank you.